Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Harika. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can actually invoke the coded workflows into your workflows, into your actual XAMLs. So we have already know that we have invoke workflow file, right? So we usually invoke some other XAML into your actual XAML. We call them by importing the arguments, and we do a lot of actions in by reusing the components in that way. But today I am going to show you how we can use a coded workflow as a part of our actual workflows. So if at all there's any piece of code that you think that you can better do by using coding instead of activities, then definitely you can use this option. So how you can do that, there are some prerequisites actually to get this done, and also I face some of the errors while doing this. So I am going to tell you all of that, which will help you to not face those errors, and so you can smoothly run your processes using this method. So first and the foremost thing that you should see here is the dependencies. So if you see, I have the dependencies of the cross platform. So if you go over the home and you try to select a new process, and here basically the compatibility will be shown as Windows. But if you have to go through some of the features that are there, which are more flexible for this kind of process, I would prefer going for cross platform. I'll tell you why. Because with some of the features that we have right now with the cross platform are not available with the Windows yet. So as I go through the video, I'm going to show you how this varies and what are those different factors as well. Yeah. So but I would request you or suggest you to go for the cross platform if you're going to take this approach. And as we are going to write the code in it, so I would say take a C# program. So once after you do those both, you will be landing into this, the main design or the main project place. So once after you do that, how do you actually come into this particular panel? How can you see? So if you haven't done any of the coded workflows yet, then this is new for you. You have to select a coded workflow from the new. So this will help you to open up a CS file. So okay, so basically you can see here, these are all the different dependencies that we have. So you don't really have to add all of them. So if you see here, I have deleted the imports or the namespace, whichever I don't need, right? So you can use only the ones which you really need as a part of your implementation. Otherwise, it has thrown me an error when it's compiling. So I was not able to. So if you see here, I'm going to debug this and it will throw me an error while after the compilation is done. So if you see, remove unused import and try again. So this was the error I was keep on getting when I was having all the imports that are there by default. So this is something which shouldn't happen actually, as per me, if you ask. But it's maybe because of the new implementations and a lot of new things are getting added. So I think they're in the process of clearing off all of these things with the next release. I'm but as per me, I think this shouldn't happen in any case if you're not using any of the imports. But yeah, we can get this removed by, you can just hover and show quick actions, remove unused things. It's gonna remove all the unused imports as per your code. So just click on the debug and it will do the compilation, and now we should able to execute the CS code. Perfect, right? So it's executing and it's finished. Perfect. So nice. So this is how the two things. First, I told you should go for the cross platform. Why? I'm going to tell you now. And the second thing, it will not let you to execute if you have the imports that are not used in your program. So make sure that you remove all the unused imports. Yes. So once that's done, yeah. So why did I ask you to go for cross platform is because, so I'm going to tell you something over here. So firstly, when you open up your code, it would be looking something like this, right? So let's say if you wanted to okay, write some piece of the code. Okay, so now let's say I am going to take an input argument from here, right? So firstly, before we actually do that, let me go over here, and in the main I am going to invoke this new demo coded workflow. Okay, so how can I do that? Do a plus and say invoke workflow file. Okay, and here you can see what are all the files that you can invoke. Okay, so I'm going to invoke this. Perfect. So now you clearly observe here in the properties of this, there is nothing, right? There is no input argument, there's no output argument. But let's do a code change over here. Okay, so now how can I write an input argument for this particular part? So I'm going to take an input argument. So let's say I'm going to take a string called location. Okay, I'm going to take a input argument which is a string. Okay, so once that is done, it is the type of the namespace could not be found. I believe it's a string. Okay, I think it's a capital S. Okay, perfect. So I have taken a string, which is a type, I have taken a variable called location, which is of type string. So now I will be expecting this as an input argument, right? So which will be coming over from here. So if you see here, the location is a mandatory field because it is needed to execute this particular workflow. So if you see, this is my input argument, right? Perfect. So you have to provide in the location here, right? So now what I'm going to do, I am going to execute this here. Right line. So here I am going to print this particular value. Does not exist in the current context. I'm not so pro at writing this code, so I'm just trying to learn slowly. If you're also a learner like me, you try to see what I am trying to do. So if you see here, system.console, I don't think this is the right one. Maybe I have to add a namespace using system here. That would do. So I'll remove this. Let me get it in this way. Okay, right line. I could see the right line over here. Perfect. Okay, done. So console.writeLine, which will print this particular location on my console. So let's execute this. Okay, perfect. So it has printed Hyderabad, which is my location. Perfect. Okay, so this was in the previous program, but yeah, we could say it has printed twice. Okay, this is from my second program. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to show you is, this is one thing. So if at all you have this working in the, instead of a cross platform, if you take the compatibility as Windows, I'm sure that you cannot see these these arguments, input arguments and output arguments over here, which you have to define manually. So that is one thing. And if you go ahead with the cross platform, then definitely you will have this automatically coming up on your Invoke workflow file, which is great, right? And next thing is the return argument, which is the output argument. So now let's say once after I take the input and I wanted to return something, right? So how can you do that? Here I'm saying it's a void. That means I'm not returning anything. But in a case where I am returning some int, or if I'm return some string. So let's return a string where I would say which is x. Okay, return, or I would say return this way, a location. Okay, so let's return the location. Okay, and then we will do some other actions. Okay, so here if you see, let's save this file and then come to main. Let's see, here you got an output variable which you have to return, right? So let's give the output variable as return variable. Okay, and we should able to see that variable in the logs, or I can give a message box as well. Perfect. Let's run this. And now after this, I'll take you through some other thing. So if at all you're trying something new to learn coded workflows, and if you're exploring what's new with respect to this, then definitely you will enjoy this kind of stuff. So if you see over here, we have written this and this, right? So in the same way, I just did something over here, like passing an input int and the string. So here you can see this is an int and the string, right? And also if you see, the output of this particular variable is output integer. So integer, I'm passing it as an output, which is this, right? So this is something that I am just exploring at this point of time, which is a coded workflow. And it's great to learn coding as well, because some things which are not in bounds of the activities, we definitely tend to create some custom activities as such, right? So why can't we take the advantage of coded workflows to build such things? And why can't we keep updated ourselves, so that whenever something we need to develop, or we wanted to learn or create, then definitely this will come in use. So if you're someone who, or like me, and who wanted to learn coding and also include as a part of your skill, then definitely I am going to create a lot of videos, because I started learning on it since some time. And if you love this content, do let me know in the comments. And also that gives me a lot of motivation to like the videos, share across your friends whom you know that you're interest in this kind of videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video next time. Till then, stay tuned. Bye bye.